Okay,
Ally, would you please do a roll call?
yes, Juan Gonzalez.
Here.
Tim Robinson.
Here.
Dan Bruno.
Here.
Dave O'Brien.
Here,
With a quorum of 4 to 5.
okay. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the December sixth, 2023 meeting.
Second.
Moved by Dan, second by Tim. Any omissions or corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Report of committees, Canal Side Master Plan update.
Sure. Bob Holmes and I met a week ago, a half ago, and reviewed a list of excuse me, mostly questions that Bob has come up with to be answered in order to move forward and to move forward with the RFP. And then yesterday, Bob, myself, Juan, and Chuck met to go over that list and refine it even more. Bob has come up with a memo, a list of things that we think are more specific to Kara, and sent that to her.
You don't have the time to digest it, right?
I read it.
So we got that. The RFP will be complete the end of this month. And as I said, we sent questions to Kara, and then we have a number of, or a list of questions for Kevin at Washington County Sewer District. So we get those answered, and then that will help us to move along with the RFP and the solicitation of bids for the final engineering design. And additionally, that entity will be soliciting bids for the construction of this project. Hopefully, by that point, we will have obtained the funds from Fast New York and awarded them, but as everybody knows, award and actual issuance of those funds, if you will, two different things. So I don't know if you have anything to add, Juan, or
No, just, 31 January for the RFP, getting the regional planning board involved early.
yeah.
Bob knows that as well. Bridge meeting, working to get the folks together to get that one, getting that done here in the next 2 weeks or hopefully, and then we'll have some more topics or some more updates on where we are with the bridge, which is not directly, part of the grant, but it's colliding here, we think.
It's
Necessary.
Yes.
a necessary piece, it's a separate project.
Separate project.
But
Yeah.
remember, that is being managed and operated by the Washington County DPW.
DPW, yep.
Okay, so they're in charge of that. And I think that the biggest thing that's gonna come up is, what is the schedule gonna look like with CHPE still down there? So that's a question we'll have to deal with.
But the bigger part of that, I think, and we looked at this yesterday, we need to maintain access, ingress, egress for Kiewit to that site. And in so doing, we're talking about the south end of that, the access on East Street.
Mhm.
And in looking at the property maps, the actual survey, so to speak, let me back up. WCC has an option on that strip of land between the canal side site and the canal, the wharf sector. The southern end of that piece looks as though it includes that access road
That is correct.
into the site. So that means they're exercising their option, WCC. If that property goes to them, then they control that access. They also control access to the wharf. I
That is
understand
correct.
this correctly. So,
And we have no recourse. And with the property, but you weren't in the last meeting, were you?
no,
Kara was charged with getting a hold of John Lepper. And
Yes, I know.
we can talk about that later in executive session.
So that's a big point. Because
And
again,
there's an easement for the sewer too. We have an easement for water and another piece of property, but that property they're going to acquire, we will need a sewer easement.
yes,
What is going through that property?
We are aware.
so aware, noted, but we need to do something needs to be done about it because
They don't own the property yet.
if they do, and that encumbers this, then we're screwed.
I am fully aware, Dan.
Okay, Dave,
I have been for 5 years, 4 years.
that's fine. Let's talk about it. What are we gonna do about it? We're at the 11th hour. Right?
Kara was charged at the last meeting to talk to John Lapper about need for permanent easements.
Okay. I bring it up. I'm giving my report.
Okay.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. And that concludes my report.
Okay. An outside prospects update.
The only thing I mentioned there is that our realtor is dealing with 2 prospects, looking at portions of the site, nothing serious at this time. But we have toured somebody through for a second time, recent as past Friday. So there continues to be interest in the site. That's it, unless there are any questions.
Okay.
Was one of, I have a question. Was one of those the, data center?
No, we have not heard anything from the data center people for several weeks. So I suspect that's gone dry.
Okay.
And by the way, the well, no, actually, they were looking for partial site too, but yes, nothing lately.
Okay.
Well, that's not unusual, the site selector,
Correct.
because they're analyzing, this is was just as I remember, just a preliminary for multiple sites we were looking at.
Correct. And that
And then they're
was,
going down to a primary list.
yeah, I believe that was before Thanksgiving. So it's been a bit of a while, but to your point, they could come back. But there's been no recent activity.
Okay, Lavella status. Did we get the full data dump of what they owe us?
I would say yes.
Okay. Do we have it on thumb drive or what?
I have it in my server at my office.
Okay.
And I know the distribution was available to other members with the IDA. I can't tell you if,
I don't think we
The idea
downloaded it, but we certainly can. So we certainly have a place to keep all our files. Probably better to have it in both locations. So we can work offline.
So get that distribution done, I appreciate it. They sent out the NPR for the water and I think some corrections to the sewer in the mid to the last part of December. Have we had any comments on that or reviews of that or status updates?
Not that I'm.
I didn't have anything of significance to identify as far as the NPR. A lot of this is gonna come down to the timing of the whole project, the schedule of the project. When do the NPRs become finalized, formalized, adopted by the town of Fort Edward, adopted by the sewer district? That comes down to timing at this point.
Whenever we want to start paying sewer fees.
Correct, but there are some associated documentations that will be part of that.
Yep. And most likely when we go out to bid with the engineering firm, won't they be reviewing all that documentation before we consider it finalized?
I would say yes.
Okay, good.
And that was included in this list that we reviewed yesterday.
Yeah, and just to be clear, the version we have now is the revised version, given our feedback.
Correct.
So it's the next version. But to Chairman's point, as we get feedback from other entities, there could be some modifications.
Correct.
Is that, is there anything we know of they've missed or haven't reported or haven't finished yet?
To where the project is at this 90% level, I believe the NPRs are appropriate. Like I said, there may be some final tweaks when that time comes for formal adoption and when you wish to start paying taxes.
Never.
Yeah, well,
After I just got our bill from, Fort Edward for just the fire taxes over there. Okay, good.
Actually, just quickly going back to Labella, it's my understanding that we are due one more invoice, correct? From them?
I'm guessing yes.
Okay, now will that be before, January 31st?
I would hope so.
Okay.
When did the normal invoice came out? That was in the middle of the month.
Excuse me.
So it'll be the December invoice, you mean?
Yeah.
Because the last one I got was October invoice.
Someone already saw the policy of getting, when we get the final invoice. Because then we can submit for reimbursement as soon as we pay that.
I'll follow up.
And this is the one for the remaining $14,000. There was some miscellaneous work we had to do. I don't know what the timing is for them delivering that work and invoicing, but we can certainly find out.
Yep, I'll get that update.
Got that. Fast New York update. The information is finally submitted, last Friday, the Wichita Friday. And they'd asked for a couple updates, we provided information, so now we're going into the next 5 or 6 months of waiting time and the public hearings and everything else like that, so we won't know when it's gonna be finalized in such date that, we're guessing it's gonna be April and May. That will give us a sequence time to get the RFP out. RFP, study it, make sure we're selecting the right person, right company, excuse me. Any other questions on Fast New York? Okay, unfinished business column up, transfer update.
The subdivision application has been submitted to the town of Kingsbury. I didn't get an explanation, but apparently the town of Kingsbury's decided it's going to the planning board and it's not just an administrative shuffle for making the lot line adjustment. One item that Todd Humison is sorting out with the town's council is the paper road extension technically does not meet the dimensional requirements of an industrial park lot. But he fully recognizes this is not intended to be a lot. It is intended to be an extension of Ferguson Drive. So that's one item that we need to get an answer back on. I expect this will be a non-issue. He was waiting for a formal read-in or a more formal read-in for Jeff Monk.
Okay,
And then associated to that, like I said, the subdivision submitted. We did have the full map and we now have the written description for the parcel itself that's to be transferred. Kara, I think I shared that written
You did.
description with you. That serves twofold, not only for the transfer from the IDA to Coulomb, but also for the town of Kingsbury to remove that lot from the fixed 75A zone to their residential agricultural zone. They needed that written description to do that. So the written description is serving a twofold purpose.
so any idea why they changed from administrative to planning board?
I don't have that answer. I don't know.
Because basically it's just affecting one, well, that on the map.
You're correct. I'll say this, that different municipalities handle it differently. I know in most of other municipalities I deal with, it's going to the planning board no matter what.
On the Mylar, I thought they wanted Mylar with the submission.
If they have anything to come back on it, we can make the Mylar very quickly. I'll have Todd will then stamp it. If they decide for some reason they want to change something, I just assume not waste the Mylar.
Okay. Did Matt ever get back to you with times when he's gonna finish those stamped?
I have not had an answer from Matt, but fortunately Todd was gracious enough to accept the subdivision map without the stamp. So
Okay,
that's moving forward.
okay.
Do you have any estimate on time? Cause I forwarded this to the, home's attorney and I just told her I would see about.
When the subdivision approval is
I'm not sure I know that. It's when it gets on the agenda. My gut reaction is now that we're approaching the middle of January, it's probably going to be a February meeting.
Okay, all right, I just want to let her know.
Yeah, we want to be Dan guesstimate of May to get it done.
Of May.
All right, elimination update, I did give Kara a list of all the properties on the. So, there's a list of all the properties, what's all wetlands, and, we're gonna combine the three big swimming pools together. And we're gonna combine, there's another property, he's got 3 lots, there are 2 lots, 2 3/4 lots are all wetland, we're gonna combine all 3 of them. And, the next approach, once we combine those, is to get those to the assessor and say, hey, listen, here's the value of these properties. We've got all the restrictions on them, we need that reduced from whatever the assessed value is now to pretty much 0. Before, this didn't make any difference, because we're only paying like $100 a year on sewer, but with their new restriction, their new rates, it's gonna be substantially more next year. So we need to make sure that we get those out of there, because if we can't develop them, can't do anything with them, they're technically worth 0. Who's gonna buy them? There was also some appraisals done on some other lots that we did, so I provided that information, see if we reduce those too. So we'll see. Okay,
Has anything more happened on 30, 31, 32?
I haven't heard any more from Dan.
Okay, let's say I received a phone call, so,
Again?
so probably just before the holiday.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think what they're waiting for is February 5th is the change in the zoning to do
Thank you.
the outside storage. So I assume because that's part of what he wants to do, he's sort of holding up on that. We will also have to go back, and in phase 2, gonna have to change that. So what's the process we're gonna need to take to change that usage
In phase 2,
in phase 2? Phase 1, we don't have any set,
right,
because we
phase,
didn't have any covenants
yeah, we do.
for outside storage.
Oh, I don't know about for outside storage. Phase 2, you can either do the variance request, or if you want to amend the declaration, then we have to get all the property owners to agree to that amendment.
So these are the variants.
Yeah, I can get you the criteria that's gonna need to be met, and
So just, so my mind's wrapped around this, phase 1, there's that one piece of property and that was gonna get sold or not gonna get sold, or is that the one that's on hold?
Phase 1 is actually from Casey all the way over to Park.
Right.
And also, phase 1 also included properties on the other side of the road.
The only thing we owned left was that one piece in the bottom,
Mhm.
next to the sewer district, right?
Correct. There's a sewer district area, then there's a 14 acres, which is a lot of wetlands district there also.
And was
14, 15 acres on there, which
was that one still in the process of getting sold or possibly or on hold?
they're still waiting for the determination on
Outdoor store.
outdoor storage, because that's what he wants to use it for.
And then up north, we have the interested 30, 31, 32 that Bob talked about.
Yeah.
The sale of homes. And then the mergers of the wetlands, and then merging one final piece of property that we believe is sellable. Is that the overall type of, or
There
deliverable, marketable? I
there
wouldn't say
is,
sellable.
I don't remember. As far as the only marketable lots is what we call 32, which is that open lot. Directly across from
The
Tractor
Chip.
Supply people, chip people.
yeah.
Then 30, it's 32, 30, and 31. There's parcels there. That's what Dan was talking to them. They
Yep.
need to be able to make sure they can get across that area,
And
which
section.
is where we're that wetland section, but they still need a permit to put culverts in there.
Correct.
But if my memory serves me correctly, I didn't bring the map in today, is that I think they can access that from 32. think they access
The,
31 and 30 from 32.
well, they're obviously contiguous, but we have shown two, let's say alleyways or for opportunity to access the north side,
Mhm.
one being on 30, one being on 30.
Mhm.
Let's say 30 and 31.
Mhm.
There's an access for each lot. Might be helpful to come up with a map to where we think we're gonna land.
Map, we're gonna land where?
Well, I mean, we're gonna get rid of the property of Colm, and then we're gonna have the other lots left. I think when I'm getting that, at the end of Ferguson, right beyond the chip factory, that's what we believe will be the marketable property.
Correct.
Yeah, which should be like, and then perhaps
Still
the other
17,
ones that
18.
Hilltop is interested in too.
Well,
That's-
they haven't committed yet, so
Right.
that's 32, 30, and 30, 31 and 30. My gut feel is that 31 and 30 are gonna be very hard to sell if we don't get rid of one transaction. So,
I was under the impression that Hilltop was looking to negotiate, but beyond my pay grade.
I get the impression that, if I was in their shoes, I'd do the same thing.
Part of the world for 100,000 years.
Pardon?
We've been fooling with that part of the world for 100,000 years.
Well,
Slowly, it should be a good year to get
all
rid
I
of
gotta
it.
say is
Yeah.
sometimes a deal's not a deal.
Get our fingers crossed to make some progress on,
We took a lot of that property under foreclosure,
you know,
so,
teach us.
okay. Like I said, sometimes a deal's not a deal.
That's right.
Training, we talked about having training sessions. I gave, with Eric, we threw out some dates, did you? Remember those dates?
No, I printed this. About this, I thought about this. No, oh, maybe I will grab it, but I grabbed, Juan, you sent a list of some topics, and you sent a list of some topics. I didn't see the date list.
You sent me an email and some dates, and I responded, look at these dates.
Oh.
You said when you're available, I said, well, looking to schedule, my plan was to do like 4 o'clock at night. And because it seems to be more convenient for people to spend an hour at 4 o'clock than ever, but we are gonna tape these things so that we use those for education, both in the counties and with members, so we post online. All right. Now, I thought a list, what I was looking at is that I don't have a copy of this, is that topic list we were looking at, Juan and I sort of agreed on the order, is I think the 2 big sessions should be creation of the idea and mission, ABO process, parameters of the idea where it fits in the economic world, walk through a project from review app determination of eligibility all the way through the process, approval process, administration of pilots and benefits, UTEP in-depth review, policies of IDA, both in the bylaws and policy manual, and CDC mission, how the CDC fits in, and benefits of pilots review. So those were the ones I looked at. There's a lot of them came in that said development aid programs out there, staff duties, bonds, review of committees, charters, experience with AIP and canal side. So I thought that if we get the 2 big sessions done, then some of these others can be done in the normal cycle during monthly meetings.
Okay.
I'm willing to be persuaded otherwise, but I don't know if we want to ask for another hour session from our members.
Okay, so the topics are fine, I'll just prepare for whatever dates we decide.
I think we need to figure out the order of them too.
Yeah, the dates I'm sorry, I didn't even see that you put the dates in there. You said the 18th and the February 6th. I think the 18th means January, I'm
Mhm.
assuming, right?
Mhm.
And,
Well, 18th is our regular meeting,
no, the 16th is our regular meeting.
16th, okay.
So that would be next week, next Thursday, and then.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesdays are meeting.
Tuesdays are meeting the 16th, so the 18th would be a Thursday. You're saying at 4 o'clock?
Or do you want to shift?
I think we skip January. We've got to give care of time to prep, especially for the two big ones. Give our team time to put it on their calendars. I'd like the 6th as the starting point. And the good news is if we can get 6 to 8 training sessions this year, that's a vast improvement from last year and gets us on a way to go. I'm not too worried about the order. I think the top 2 were great. And then anything after that, we can, again, for our new members, it's gonna, all of it's gonna be helpful for those that have been here decades, that they'll know what's there like.
So February 6th or 4 PM?
Yeah.
And where do you guys want to do this? You can
Well-
do it, the county, where,
Yeah, but
whatever's
if you get,
easiest.
if you get 10 members here, you get 10, 12, 13, 14 people here,
Won't be done too much.
it's too much here. Is there still that room downstairs?
Hmm?
What about doing it downstairs?
Yeah, I just have to make sure that,
Is that a pickleball court yet?
no. Cause sometimes there's meetings on there, so let me just confirm that date, and then do you wanna just give me some other dates when you,
Well, you said the date. Can you forward me those dates you were available again?
well, now they're all gonna be, I'll send you new. Mostly at 4 o'clock, it's,
Okay. Well, do it 6, do it. I don't know. What do you want to do? Week after or 2 weeks after?
well, that one I won't, because that's Association of Towns.
Maybe if I could calendar it out.
Like the 27th. If we skip that.
How's people think about the 27th?
One month February.
February. Good on.
For the next, you mean after the 6th?
Yep.
I'll, are we not doing the 6th or are we?
We're doing the 6th.
Doing
It's
the
already-
6th. Okay. We're just trying to plan a couple out so we can get the rooms reserved and we can get them.
That's not long.
Okay,
So if we can move it to early March, that'd be appreciated.
6th or the 5th?
5th is a Tuesday. I'm good on that day.
Is it March?
that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some slumber party.
I know. Maybe we'll put both out of sleep. And the only one that really is that Al Nolet's got a really great presentation on pilots and stuff that I want to have fit in, so I'll see where I can fit him in. Some of it's eye-opening.
That would be again at 4, right?
Probably
It's February. and 5
I'll see if
March.
we can have these rooms. I don't know that other meeting schedule, so I'll find out. I'll let you know as soon as possible.
Okay,
Like
if not,
today, I'll find out.
we'll find someplace else, well, we are gonna try and accommodate, because we'll do it on Zoom, so people can participate in Zoom if they can't get here.
We have Zoom down there too.
Yeah.
You use the civic center downstairs now. Close it off.
They'll probably charge us money.
They won't. I'm on board.
Sometimes that doesn't help.
In this case.
Maybe they'll charge us more.
Maybe they'll have the bar open.
That's probably.
All right, let's see what we have, we'll work from there on doing it, so we got some time for it. Important is the dates. Okay. Any other unfinished business that I missed? Okay, new business nominations. We have nominations. We need a chair, vice chair, secretary and treasurer. We have combined secretary and treasurer. There's no mandate to do that. The other last two are at-large positions. In terms of that, So that's what we're looking at. My recommendation is that if we start the transfer is that you nominate. Who's that guy over there?
One
One is chair. My other suggestion is while we work through the Fast New York process and have a good transfer, I was hoping to talk to Craig. Craig has disappeared, not answering telephones, not answering emails, not answering text, not answering the phone.
Yeah, right.
He appears to be in Montana with family.
Oh,
We don't know, but Ally talked to someone yesterday, said that she'd had conversations with him by text, so it's surprising he's just not there.
And she texted him while we were on the phone yesterday saying, the IDA is looking for you, please reach out to them.
So
Nobody.
crickets.
while we go through the transitionary process and the Fast New York process, because the Fast New York process is not done. My suggestion after talking to council and other people is that I stay as vice chair. Just to make sure that I'm there with the continuity because I'm under Fast New York and all those other programs. Then secretary treasurer. I think Tim is enthralled with staying on, so
yeah.
that's my thoughts. I do intend to after Fast New York's to bed. It's $4.9 million and I hate to risk stuff and so
That continuity is good.
continuity is good, so. That's my recommendation. I'll take recommendation from anyone else on the board.
You mentioned two at-large positions, are those? We have to nominate at the same time, or, no, okay.
Those are board appointments. Those are chairman appointments.
Chairman.
So
This
it's
is
like,
for the governance committee, correct?
What's that?
no, this is the executive committee.
This is for the executive.
Correct.
We're gonna get to the governance committee next.
Governance committee would be appointed later.
But in our current bylaws, the governance committee is the executive.
We
With
gotta
our
change
new
that.
bylaws, that will change.
In the new bylaws, we are now following the bylaws.
Right now, we are following now.
Currently,
It's
Yeah, we
part-
weren't following the bylaws before. It should have been separate from the executive committee.
Okay, so we don't have to change the bylaws.
No,
We just have to change the committees.
I think if the bylaws are written that governance is an executive, the bylaws have changed to reflect that governance, executive, are independent, but it hasn't been done yet,
I looked into it.
right? But right now, we're under our current bylaws and governance is part executive, which is fine. We do need to formally change to our bylaws to recognize the governance committee as an independent committee. But
The bylaws,
that's.
the governance committee is appointed by the chair, is it?
I got the bylaws in front of me here someplace. Nominating committee, executive committee shall serve as an audit and finance. The chair shall appoint a governance committee comprised of independent members for the purpose of keeping the agency informed. It was just been, by default, the governance committee was appointed as executive, wasn't in the bylaws.
Right, but I guess what I'm getting at, not to go into the weeds, typically, the governance committee is elected by the board. But that's for future fine tuning bylaws.
Governance committee has never been appointed by the board.
Not typically, in most organizations, it's unique to have,
I belong to 5 organizations and none of them are the governance committee elected by the members,
okay, no, by the board, the board
no, by
typically,
the board.
you have governance chair who determines. It's okay. Current bylaws are good for now, in the future, that's better.
Well, I don't remember, well, I guess I've been,
We haven't had any problems with that.
No, I think it's fine.
To get our house in order.
our bylaws are our bylaws.
No, it's a great thing to push the governance, separate more team members, those that are not intimately involved will get more involved. And I hope they're ready because we're. No, the slate that the chair nominated. Being honest, I'm a big fan of Tim, I like that. Lock him in for next decade, we're good.
That's 7 years.
7 years.
The way exhausts me. Okay,
So we'll move that slate to the full board.
someone's gotta move
Well, wait, what about the, so I have one, Dave and Tim, what about the two at larges, not decided
it.
yet?
Appointed by the
Okay,
chair.
okay.
No, I forgot to mention, going back for a minute, talking about continuity, et cetera, to canal side, et cetera. Going forward, we will be including Jessica and Beth in our discussions and formulation of whatever.
I think they should be copied. I don't think they have to be involved in spaghetti, but they should be involved in the review process.
Yeah, well, we'll determine
Yeah.
that. Anyway, want to keep them informed in the loop, as they say.
So can somebody move it that's named, or does it really need someone that's not named to move it?
I'll move it.
There you go. That was my cue for you.
Optics are better if you do it that way.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, anything staff update?
No, nothing for staff update. The regular board meeting will be a full staff update.
Okay, public comments?
Oh, I'm sorry, there's one thing on the staff update. Last week, we have our pipeline of incentive projects. And last week we had 3 meetings that were material projects that we're excited about. All have regulatory approvals to go through. All were greater than $15 million projects. So it was very encouraging first week of the year with some projects that are advancing in our community, but still have a ways to go. So that's it. You'll hear more at the next update at the board meeting.
You don't have a time frame in terms of regulatory approvals?
One is going to seek approval by the summer.
Okay.
One is working, is still in its infancy and could start the regulatory processes this year, may not be done. The other 2 may not be done this year.
So maybe one of those would be a this year project.
Yes, it was very clear that they wanted regulatory approval by the summer.
What did you get? You came in through Washington County.
Yes.
So now we have the chairman from Washington County and we have the vice chairman from Washington County.
We have
Okay.
CEO from Warren County.
But we don't know that. I didn't
You're
hear.
gonna,
We don't, we're not electing a CEO.
Oh, that's right.
we don't, yes.
That's a board, that's a chair appointment.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a board appointment. It's a board appointment.
Yeah.
Let's get the bylaws out again.
There you go.
Bylaws.
We can change the bylaws. I'll get to it later. Okay,
I have one quick item under other. If I could.
go ahead.
We have 2 projects that have terminated, by their terms. That is the Sandy Hill project. They weren't on a pilot. They just had sales tax exemption. So I have documents so we can terminate those, leases of record. And the other one is, the company's name is M&S Precision, but the property owner is JNC. They came off, I think, this last tax cycle.
Correct.
So I have documents, for the chair to sign to terminate those, so those will be cleaned up with the county clerk's office. I don't think we need to take any action, it's just a report to let you know that we're gonna close those out. So I don't know, you probably have to report on Paris this year maybe, but then next year, I think they'll follow.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. And I had notified, for ABM requirements, ahead of time, that, to all the jurisdictions that these products would be terminating, so we are
In
regularly
compliance.
compliant.
Is there any other ones? I was trying to go, let me know, send me an email if there's
I will.
some other ones that we need to do the paperwork on.
Yes, okay.
Okay, thanks.
You heard anything from the guy from White Creek? Weren't we supposed to get together with him?
We did, the Camoin Associates is doing a study for White Creek Development Project.
Not-
And we did have a call last week with the person who's doing the study. I did, they interviewed me.
But I was talking about, the company from White Creek and Greenwich. Joe Rucuya?
We have not heard anything new.
Okay. Insurance, what's the status of the insurance?
We had a meeting with the insurance agent last week to change the replacement value from market to actual, and we're waiting for revised numbers.
From replacement actually what?
Remember, the valuation was at replacement value, and you suggested we go at actual value to lower our insurance costs,
Correct.
right? And so that's the instruction we've given, and they're rerunning the numbers. We have not
Okay.
received them yet.
Okay, just trying to get through that.
Yeah.
Okay, public comments, we didn't get any public comments. I do need a motion to go into executive session to discuss contractual matters and matters leading to the appointment, blah, 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 right?
Of employee.
Of employee or employees.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. So we'll need that, executive session, we will be joining out of executive session, no action taken.
Make that motion.
Motion by Chuck, by Juan, second by Dan. Any further discussion? You can